Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 17 and compare it against the iPhone 15 Plus and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, the thing I can definitely tell you when you're taking a look at these types of devices is that they're both slightly different. Clearly, the iPhone 17 is the best one I'd recommend buying here. So if you're about to go through and pick up a device, it definitely makes a lot more sense to go through and buy something like an iPhone 17. But I will say with the iPhone 15 Plus, this is still one of those types of iPhones that I think still holds up fairly well in the brand new market. If you're planning on buying a phone, I think it still is a pretty good option. But keep in mind, there might be some better options out there for the most part too. So if you want to pick up either one of these types of phones, I'd recommend buying this year. Links will be down in the description below. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these particular phones. The iPhone 15 Plus originally came out back in 2023, and this type of phone, for the most part, I'll say, it is a very good type of phone, right? It's still is like a device that holds up fairly well. I think if you're planning on buying a phone, it still makes a lot of sense to go and buy. It is really one of those types of devices that I think holds up very, very well for the most part. Now, it's not perfect, but I will say if you're in the market and you're trying to go through and pick up a device, this phone's still giving you a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, and it's still giving you the dynamic island, which is nice. Unfortunately, the panel itself doesn't really get super bright, so that is kind of one of the disadvantages here. Also, it's a 60 Hz panel, so that right there is also kind of a downside here. So if you are buying a phone and you're using a phone, you're going to feel like that type of device is going to be giving you a little bit more of like an outdated kind of panel for the most part. It's not terrible, but it's really not going to be that great. And that is going to be one of the main issues you're going to experience here. With the iPhone 17, this phone is going to be giving you a 6.3-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So this one is going to be significantly better for the most part than something like an iPhone 15 Plus. This phone is going to be giving you a 6.3-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So that is something that I actually like a lot about something like my iPhone 17. It's going to be a very good type of panel. It's going to hold up very well. And like I said before, if you're in the market and you're trying to go through and buy a device, I feel like something like an iPhone 17, it is going to be one of those types of phones that I actually like a lot. So it's going to be giving you a brighter panel, 3000 nits of peak brightness, and it's going to be giving you a ProMotion display, 120 Hz. So kind of keep that in mind. I think that right there is one of the biggest takeaways there. And like I said before, if I'm in the market and I'm trying to go through and pick up a device, I'm definitely going to go through and buy something like an iPhone 17, because it is going to hold up a lot better from that particular perspective. Now, beyond that, I think if you're looking at these types of devices too, they're both giving you USB Type-C ports on the bottom, frosted glass backs, dual camera setups on the backside, and kind of the same type of layout on the backside too. There's not really like anything super crazy going on here that we haven't already seen before. But like I said before, I am a fan of how these phones are kind of holding up right now. And definitely if you're taking a look at them, they both hold up very, very well. But the iPhone 17 definitely holds up far better than the iPhone 15 Plus. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to their price tags, the iPhone 15 Plus has an advantage here. It is cheaper in the used market than something like a brand new iPhone 17. So a 15 Plus is probably always going to be cheaper here. And I would imagine if you're going to go through and pick up a device, that is probably going to be an advantage you're going to experience. So I think that's a nice thing. I think if you're going to go through, pick up a phone, definitely something like an iPhone 17 gives you kind of an advantage, because it's a much newer phone. But if you're trying to get the cheaper one, the iPhone 15 Plus kind of makes more sense in my personal opinion. Now, when it comes down to their cameras, this is also another key takeaway. The iPhone 15 Plus is giving you this dual camera setup. So it's a wide and ultra-wide camera. The iPhone 17 is essentially giving you a similar type of layout here. So they're both giving you wide and ultra-wide cameras. They both give you 0.5x to 2x zoom. So they're both pretty similar when it comes down to that side. They both give you 4K at 60 frames per second as well. But there is a slight difference when it comes down to that, kind of extra camera features. The iPhone 17 has that center stage capability for that front camera. So that is something that's really nice to have. If you're able to go through and swing to have that front facing camera, that right there is a very nice thing. You're getting an 18 megapixel center stage front camera. You're getting a really good type of capability there. And you're also getting dual capture mode on that particular phone as well. So being able to go through and get dual capture mode is something that's awesome. And that right there is going to be another really cool advantage for that type of device. And I, for one, if I'm going through and picking up a device, that is going to be a pretty good advantage for that type of phone too. So in my personal opinion, like I've mentioned before, if you're about to go through and pick up a device, I do like my iPhone 17 to give me that type of capability, and that is kind of what's going on here for the most part. So kind of keep that in mind as you're kind of going through and looking at these types of devices as well. Now, when it comes down to their software longevity, this is also going to be another one of those big takeaways. When you're getting something like an iPhone 17, you're going to have to remember that these types of devices are going to be a little bit more, they're going to be longer lasting than the iPhone 15 Plus. So if you're wanting the phone that is going to be lasting you a longer period of time there, then something like an iPhone 17 is going to be the one that's going to be giving you the longer lasting software support. So that's something that I like, that's something that I love with these types of phones. The 15 Plus, I think, is still holding up well. Like, it's still going to be giving you like 4 years of software updates. So that phone isn't a slouch here either. But like I said before, if you're wanting the phone that is going to be lasting you a longer period of time, then there is that advantage with something like the iPhone, 17 that will last longer. When it comes down to their battery life, Apple states that the iPhone 15 Plus gives you 26 hours of video playback. The iPhone 17 gives you 30. So just based off Apple's analysis, they do tell you that the battery life on the iPhone 17 is going to be better. So that right there is going to be another one of those key takeaways. If you are planning on buying a phone, the iPhone 17's battery life is very good. I've personally tested it, and I actually had a really good time with that type of device when it kind of came down to it as well. And finally, when it comes down to the performance, the iPhone 15 Plus is going to be giving you that Apple A16 Bionic chip inside of it, where the iPhone 17 is giving you the A19 chipset inside. You're also getting more RAM inside of the iPhone 17. The thing I can tell you about the performance of both these phones though, is that they're both very good performing devices. They're both very good options. If you're in the market and you're trying to pick up a phone, these two phones are very fast. So you're not really going to feel like either one of these phones are super slow or super ineffective or anything like that. You are going to be getting very fast, very capable phones between both of them. And like I said before, I think that's a really good option. But if you are trying to get the phone that is going to be kind of like that faster phone, the iPhone 17 is going to be that one for you. And with more RAM and with more capability, that is going to be another really good advantage for that type of device when it comes down to it. So to kind of sum it up, what I definitely will tell you is that between both these phones, I'm definitely a really big fan of the iPhone 17. I feel like that type of phone, it's a very good phone. It's like almost perfect. I think Apple did a really good job with this type of device. And if you're in the market, you're going to be getting a really good type of experience here. I think with the iPhone 17 Pro Max, with the iPhone 15 Plus, I feel like this type of phone is also a really, really good option here too. It's a great phone. It gives you a bunch of capability. And I would imagine that if you're in the market and you're trying to go through and pick up a phone, this one is going to be a really good option. It may not be, necessarily perfect, but it still is a good price and it still is a phone I'd recommend people to buy. But I probably would say that with something like an iPhone 17, this is a much better device. And that's kind of how it kind of holds up for me. So kind of keep that in mind. But that's kind of how I see both these devices kind of holding up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.